So I was sitting out here at my great friends, Mike and Amanda's farm, Haven Creek Farm. Absolutely beautiful place. And just kind of reflecting on life, reflecting on this time in my life. I'm holding Sammy with one hand, and he is new to the farm, so he's hearing all kinds of new sounds and animals and critters. And what's funny is this is actually what he's made to be. He's actually made to be out with the sheep for weeks at a time and tend to himself. But instead, he's kind of been a traveling dog, haven't you, buddy? Yep. 12 times. Well, Heather and I, we've gone 12 times across the country. Kids, I think we've hit every state multiple times. This guy's been with us for most of it, a lot of it. But he grew up in a 40-foot fifth wheel, going all across the country, seeing different terrains and smells and stuff. So, but I think he's starting to like farm life if I can just get him to not run and chase cows. But no, I was just sitting here reflecting on just the season in our life for Heather and I, and just how we got here. And I'm like, God, I don't even know how we even got here, because it's like a dream within a dream within a dream. That's what our life seems like. And I was trying to just kind of trace everything back in my mind and just really take this time that we're here and just really be intentional with it for myself and just for the season of what we're coming into, and what it is that our next steps are as a family, as individuals, as a collective. All of those things there's a lot of shifting that's taking place right now. And I think it's really important for us to make sure that we just can always come back and ground and figure out, okay, what is real? What is reality? Because what we think is real most oftentimes is an illusion. And what we're starting to really understand at the grand scheme of things is everything is really a delusion built over a master illusion that we were ever separate in the first place, or we were ever broken. And so I was just thinking, we don't really know much before what we know as creation or consciousness or awareness. I mean, that's about as far as I can get in my mind. I mean, outside of the experience that I had in Springfield, where I had a near-death experience, and I saw some things that just, whether it was me or my subconscious or what I wanted to see, it really showed me some things that gave me a lot of freedom. And the way that it gave me freedom was not by having to try and prove some new theory or some I got it. What it did for me is it showed me that a lot of the things that I had attached myself to, a lot of the things that I had bound myself to and I had believed as truth, because honestly, I had never respected myself enough to actually take time and ask the hard questions, right? To actually sit with myself and say, why is it that I do what I do? Why is it that I say what I say? Does it actually have merit, or is it something that I'm just regurgitating because that's what my parents taught me, or that's what their parents taught me, or that's what society says? And, I was sitting here thinking, man, at some point before we came to awareness, I guess, there was some collective expression of, hey, let's go experience ourselves in every possible way. And really where I'm at in my season and my walk in my journey is I don't know. I don't know, but it's the things that I have come through, like I said before, that I used to think were absolute truths that I've been able to punch holes in, that have really given me my freedom, because they're the things that kept me bound. They're the things that kept me captive. They're the things that kept me dancing, right? Hopping, like a hot potato, playing for crowds, playing for people, playing for all the things that I thought I needed and wanted in life. But in reality, all along, I was looking really for myself. But we're really kind of at this unique season, because what I'm starting to find out is, as we come to this place of self-discovery, in that journey of self-discovery, we are figuring out that, oh my gosh, we're all connected, right? There is no separation. All of this came from a place of us becoming aware in something that we set up that had contrast, duality, polarity. So that if we see the yin, we also got to see the yang, right? You can't know love if you've never experienced hate. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. So in that one now moment, it was almost like everything that could ever possibly happen has already occurred, but we are the slowed down energy to visibility that is on this journey of self-exploration of that one now moment. That's how I can say that all things work together for my good, because in the grand scheme of things, yes, some things might suck, some things might not be great, but I do see a bigger picture of how we are working it out. We are all working it out. We are not static. We are rhythmic. We have flow. We have vibration. We have frequency. There is a rhythm, a natural rhythm, that if we can learn to surf that rhythm, instead of always trying to fight the tide, so to speak, then we can begin to really do what I think this was designed to be in the first place, a lot of fun, and begin to have a lot of play. And now life is no longer just about an outcome or having to do something in order to be something. It's actually about what? It's about a perception. It's about how many ways am I able to see the same thing, because at the end of the day, I'm multidimensional. I'm not just static. We're not just looking at things linearly anymore. We're looking at things multidimensionally. We're starting to go back and look at absolutes in our lives that we thought that we would never question. And now we're starting to see things and stories and narratives that we've told ourselves, repeating patterns in a different way than what we've ever seen and what we've ever done. And that's the beauty of what we've created, is because when you see different, you can actually do different, right? If we can see something different, we're not going to continue doing something that is actually harder. That's one of the ways that we're actually wired, is really kind of to take the path of least resistance, because we were naturally made to flow. And that's why we were able to use this emotion called fear that came from us seeing something that we couldn't explain for the very first time, to be able to get people to do stuff for us, because we forgot how to flow. We forgot that we are not just a player in the game of life, but we are also the creator as well. So as this season steps forth of what we're seeing happening right now in the collective and families and individuals, there's a lot of shaking, there's a lot of moving. And the greatest advice that I can give you right now is just to remember one thing, guys. We don't have to be afraid of anything, because everything is us. So when fear no longer exists, now we're able to let go. And when we're able to let go, we're now able to return back to our truest origin. That ability for us to be able to flow as rhythm, as vibration, as frequency, as energy. Remember, even science tells us that we're 99.99999% pure energy. We're only 0.0001% matter. Matter is energy slowed down to visibility. So at the end of the day, we understand what we're seeing of this world doesn't even represent 1/1000th of a percent of who and what we are. So maybe the answer is not holding on tighter, but maybe the answer in this season for a lot of us is learning just how to let it all go, giving ourselves some grace, now re-entering back into what we know as life, not just from a person that is lost in the noise and the shuffle of the voices that are out there that are programming all of humanity, but now We are listening to that audience of one, and that audience of one isn't up there. That audience of one is right here. But through this audience of one here is the reconciling and the connection that we have with each one of each other, with one another, because we realize that life is not about an outcome, it's about a perception. And so now we understand why it's so important for us to be able to tell our stories, why it's so important for us to be able to share our truths, because at the end of the day, there's only some things that you can be able to share with certain people on this planet that will resonate close enough to you that you'll be able to reach that no one else can. And you know what? Right now, guys, for the very first time, from what I know in humanity, we truly have some good news. And if you want to know what the good news is, it's pretty simple. It's not what they told us. Have a beautiful day.